Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. This is a video about creating a user form, and more specifically 5 tips for creating a user form. So what I will be going through today is how to create a user form, how to actually start the user form, and also ending the user form. Just write that clear here. Then I want to show you how to get values from the user form, and lastly resetting values within the user form. So just basic tips, basic tricks to make an easy and convenient user form. So first of all, what I want to do is just let me tell you what the user form is going to be about, and it's very simple. We want to make a user form demonstrating a customer satisfaction poll. Um, Here we want to start the poll as the user form, and then we are going to the customer is going to go into the user form and just submit his score. And here we can see how many customers that has participated in the poll, and also the average score in total. So what I'm going to do now is firstly going to name these objects that we so that we know what to refer to them in our user form. And I did that by typing here and then selection pane. I want this icon to be the start user form. Then I want this to be not text box 8 but participants. Yes, and I want this text box to be the average score. So let me just type that. Cool. The reason why I do not wanna naming the other ones are because these are only going to be text, as I'm actually going to change the behavior of those I have named. Okay, so let's go into a developer and start our user form. It's going to be here, and then we are just inserting a new user form, as we can see. Here we have a basic template for our user form, not very pretty. Let's just make that even larger. So what we wanted was to have the customer to type in his score. So we're just briefly going to add a label, naming that rate this from 1 to 10, and this could be anything. Then we want him to actually type in something, and this is the text box. And then we want 2 buttons, command buttons. We want a submit button, and we want a cancel button. Oops. Yeah, normally I'm actually not adding buttons to my user form. I'm just adding pictures because I think these buttons are really ugly. However, just to make it simple, we are going to use buttons today. I'm just going to put this in the middle, and oops, I went into those. I'm just going to rename this one. And this is a cancel button I want. And we want a submit here. Okay. What we also want is to name this object here. So we're going to add the immediate window and also the project explorer we have here, and the properties windows. So the property windows allows us to name this text box, and this is going to be score text box. I'm just writing GBS text box. Then this is the cancel button. I'm writing cancel B, and this is my submit button, so I'm writing submit B. So now the naming should be all right. The only thing that I need to do now is to name also this slide, because right now it's slide number 3, but we do actually want it to have a naming in case we add more slide and it's not, and the slide is going to be a different number. So a quick trick to this is just add random control, double click on that. That will force it to go into VBA. See here slide number 3. Instead of choosing the text box, we're just choosing the slide, and then we're just going to write user form, as this is the user form slide. Alright, we do not want this text box, and we want to delete this as well. Cool. So now the naming is okay, and I want to see the code of the user form. So I'm right clicking on the user form and typing view code. Right now we do not have a lot, and actually the button naming is not this anymore. But we do want something to happen when submitting. So double click on this button, then we see that the name has been changed to submit B. Okay, so what we want to do now is to make the average score. So the first thing we're going to do is setting the slide as slide number 3, the one I call user form. The way we're going to do that is making an attribute naming just slide. Maybe it could be convenient to call this user form slide as a new slide. Okay, and this user form slide, we want to set that. So set user form slide equal, and then we're going to do this application dot active presentation. The reason we're going to do this is that we want to do it on the application we are in right now. Then we have slides, choosing the slides, and then the name, we call it user form. So that's the name of our slide. So now we have set the user form slide. Okay, so what we can do is now getting values from this slide. So we want to get 2 values. We want to get the average score and we want to get the participants. So the first thing we're going to do is finding the participants, and we're going to set that as integer. So dim participant, and that we don't have to write set because it's int, but participant equal user form slide. And what we want to do now is getting this number right here. We want to see how many participants have doing this poll as of now. So user form slide dot shapes, and then we're writing the shape we want to use, and we want to use the participants shape, as we can see we wrote over here. And we want the text from it, so it's text frame dot text range dot text. And that way we get the text from it. Yeah, let's just combine that. And we also want the average score. So average score as double. We do not want this as integer, as we could have some commas here. And in the same way, average score equals user form slide dot shape, and average score text frame dot text frame, and I'm tapping the tab button to get that it to write what's pointed. Okay, so we have set the participants and the average score, and now we want to change these. So when I write submit, it means that I have made my score. So of course the participants should be plus equal 1, and the way to do it in VBA is just to write it like this, and Okay, yes, and then we want average score to be. Now we want to retrieve the score we just submitted. So we are going to say user form 1 dot. Then we're trying to find our value. Actually, I don't think we need to do that. We're just let's see, what did we call this? Score TB. So we're just writing score. We just want the score. So let's say that. So to set the score, we're just going to write what the ID for the text box was, and in this case it was score TB, and then we want the value from this one. So here we get the score, and then we want to change the average score. So the average score equals, yeah, so what we want to find the average score, and for this we need to find we need to find the total score from before. The way we're going to do this is actually making, before adding our submission to the participants, we're going to find the total score before that. So we are going to say dim total score as double, and that is total score, that is the average score multiplied by participants. So now the average score is going to be total score plus my score, and let's just make sure that's going to do like this, and then we divided it by the participants, because now we have added me as the user as the participants. Okay, cool, and we want the average score to be shown on our slide, and we also want the participants to be shown on our slide. And the way we're going to do that is by, in this case, instead of retrieving the text, we are setting this text. So now we are setting, and actually let's just make that in another sub, because my point is here that sometimes the subs can be too big, the functions. So let's just make a new function. You know what? No, let's not do that. But in some cases, it could be convenient to make a new sub, so we only have one. One calculation or one function per sub. But in this case, we're just going to do it like here. So we are setting the text to participants, and in the same way, we are updating the average score to the average score. And let me just see if this works. Oops, I type the save button. Let me just save this one. Yes. And as we all know, we need to save it as a macro-enabled presentation. Okay, now it's saved. Okay, let's see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll do some debugging together. But first we need to start the poll, and in order to do that, we are getting into Visual Basics, going into the module. So we are creating a module, and then we are simply saying that that we want to start user form. Let's call it that, and then we are saying the name of the user form dot show. So when this macro or this sub is activated, the user form will show. So what we do here is we have selected this play button. We go to action and run it this macro here. Okay, let's see if it works. I am not sure. Yes, so we have now started the presentation. Let's go to our customer satisfaction poll and press this. And as we can see, our very beautiful user form is popping up. We want to rate this as 5 and submit our score. And we can immediately see that the participants are increased by 1 and the average score is now 5. So let's try to say 6 now. And yes, 2 participants, the average score is now being changed. And I can see that this text field is a bit too small. Let's see once again. Okay, very good. So now we also want this button to be activated and we want to exit the user form when pressing this one. So let's just go out of this presentation. All right. 2 seconds. I just lost my signal. So first let's just make this one a bit bigger. And then let's see what we can do to make this button work. So let's double click on that one and let's see here what we can do. Whoops. Good. So the very only thing we need to write here is just typing unload me. And this will make the user form disappear. Let's see if it works. And before seeing if the button actually works, I just want to show you one last thing, and that is that we want to have this, where is it? We want the score GB value to be reset every time we hit submit, and it's very easy to do that. Just going to type score GB value and making an empty string like this. Then after clicking it, it will be resetted. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, so we are in our presentation here and we are going to start the user form. Let's just rate this 1 and typing the submit. And as you can see here, our text disappears. Let's see again, 3, and it disappears. And we now have 5 participants and the average score is 5. And let's see if cancel works. It does. So that was a brief walkthrough how to make a very convenient and a fast way to make a user form. Today I showed you how to create it, to start it, and how to end the user form, how to get values from the user form, and also how to reset the values as I just saw you by the end. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see 5 tips for getting started with VBA programming in PowerPoint, go into my channel and there will be a video for that.